Hey, welcome to the session, Bible Beats and Bars. I'm your host. You already know the business, Frederick Whitlow II, aka Minister Fred 2. Do not call me Junior. Listen, that's not a good thing. Just don't do it. So, listen, we're excited about our show today. We're excited about this talk show today. This is transformative talk that makes a significant impact difference and change for a lifetime. So, listen, we've got an amazing guest, good friend of mine, about a great organization. We're going to talk about the impact, because last week we talked about the celebratory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the late. This time we're going to talk about how this man of greatness and its impact on people, places, and policies. We'll be right back. You already know. Enjoy this. Wingy Danger got a couple features on it. And at the end of the day, we need his presence and we need your presence. We'll be right back. It's the session, Bible Beats and Bars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I went to danger.
Yeah.
Alongside Davil and Kid Lee.
Your presence is needed. Father, I seek it right now. Your presence is needed. And though I can't feel it, Father, I hold on to my faith and I choose to believe it. When I am searching, but I can't feel you there. When I am praying, I just want you there. Your love means everything. Your love means everything. Your presence means everything right now. Here in the silence, I'm praying. Father, your presence I seek right now. But I must admit, sometimes I'm worried. I can't feel you near, just a fear right now. But I'ma keep on praying, and I'ma keep on praising, and I'ma keep on seeking, cause I know your love changes everything. When I'm searching, but I can't feel you there. When I'm praying, I just want you there. Your love means everything. Your love means everything. Your presence means everything right now.
To my left and I look to my right. Fell in love with your presence, now you always by my side. Know you come through with protection. I see the words rejection, but it don't mean a thing when I got you in my life. I'm a follower of Christ, meditating day and night on his word. Hating negativity, say this, that, in the bird. Fell in love with your presence, in love with your love, in love with your peace. Seek the things that's above. Up and I look to my down. I know that you with me, they can hear you in my sound. Hope they see you in my actions, they see you how I'm stepping, they see you when I'm coming. Having you is a blessing. I don't wanna leave your presence. Having you is a gift, it's a present. Present. Any sin I was living in, I know you had it, daddy. And now I hold your hand, cause you know where I am headed. Yeah.
When I'm searching, but I can't feel you there. When I'm praying, I just want you there. Your love means everything. Your love means everything. Your presence means everything.
I went to danger. I'm seeking and searching and you me can't find. God protect me from evil mankind. Not sell them so long and me go with swine. Them can't serve you with this carnal mind. I can do all things because you strengthen me. But me need some fear because these eyes can't see. Protect me from those who persecute me. I'm not the one but try to use me. Yeah.
When I'm searching, but I can't feel you there. When I'm praying, I just want you there. Your love means everything. Your love means everything. Your presence means everything right now. I need your presence. I need your presence. Yeshua, I need you.
So I look to my left and I look to my right. Fell in love with your presence, now you always by my side. Know you come through with protection. I see the words rejection, but it don't mean a thing when I got you in my life. Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the session. Shout out to my man Wingy. Just dropped that Wingy Danger. That's WINGYDANEJAH. Shout out, my homie. So listen, special guest in the building. Come on, Professor. Let's just bring him in. We got to give it to him. This is my homie for life. You already know it's the honorable, the bishop, the good friend, the good fighter, the great activist. Take him out. You already know it's my man Robert Drake. What's up, bro?
I am well, brother Fred. How you doing? Thanks for having me on. And all of that. Hey, I appreciate that introduction, but I'll try to live up to it. But I thank you nonetheless.
So listen, you have lived up to it and you continue to do so. But we want to say thank you for being a part of the show. Excited about this conversation, excited about the organization that you represent. So let's just jump right in. First thing I need to ask, we do this just as a fun fact. 3 fun facts about you outside everything else we're going to talk about. Fun facts. Fun fact number 1. What you got?
Fun fact number 1. Wow. Well, one thing that myself and all my siblings and my family are proud of, I have a 105-year-old father who is
Wow.
who is, just the light of our lives. And just, every time I look at him, I just see God's power, and that's something, and I'm from a large family. So for me and all my siblings and nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephews, that's something that means a lot to us. Again,
That's powerful.
yes,
That's
yes,
powerful. 'Cause, in many families, they don't make it that far in terms of the eldest
tell me about it.
parent or parents. They just don't make it. But that's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Fact 2. What you got? Fun fact 2.
Too. I mentioned my family, as I said, from a large family, and I love being from a big family. And we're kind of spread out all over the country. A few of us, 3 siblings, are still here in Huntsville Harvest. Another one sibling is in North Carolina. Our oldest sibling, who's a sister, she and her family are in South Alabama and Mobile. The youngest
Wow.
brother is in right outside Detroit in Michigan, and 2 sisters are in sunny Southern California. So we are in the 4 corners of the country. But
You like go tell you it. Okay.
yeah, and but we'll all be getting together again. We're together a few weeks ago, but we'll be getting together again for my dad's birthday celebration, God willing, on March 24th. He will be 106. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Wow. Wow. Well, kudos to him and kudos to your fam.
Yeah.
Fact 3. Fun fact number 3.
Fact
Some
3.
fun fact. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this probably should have been the very start, but I'm a child of God, and I'm talking about how He has manifested Himself in my dad's life and my family's life. For me personally, just how He has manifested Himself in my life, and so that should have been fact number 1. So that's always first and foremost. But secondly, that I am the product of a historically Black college or university. I'm a proud graduate of Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University in Normal, Alabama,
Yes,
35762.
sir.
But
Close to it,
outside
bro.
of my Christian faith and my family, my education has been what has molded me. Anything I've been able to accomplish has been due to those 3 entities in my life. So I'm very proud of that.
That's powerful. It's very interesting that you said that one of your fun facts is that you're a believer of God.
Yes.
That is powerful. So, do you have a favorite scripture that you live by, or do you have a favorite quote that you live by? If you do,
Well,
just share.
I do, and sometimes I get it confused, and I tell people, I said, mind you, I'm not a Bible scholar, but one of my favorite scriptures is, don't worry about anything, but pray for all things. And, I guess to kind of give it, I'm probably paraphrasing here, but pray for all things. And just know that once you've prayed to God and you've turned it over to Him, to let it go, and He will take care of your needs. And I say
Yeah.
that because I've seen
Yeah.
that manifest itself in my own life. So,
Yeah,
that's probably my
that's
favorite scripture.
powerful. Robert, that's powerful that he says, in all things, prayer and supplication. That's what you're
Supplication.
talking about.
Yes.
But do it without being anxious.
Yes.
Like what I love about what you said is that you you have this kind of confidence in God that you can say, listen, God, this is what's happening. Here's what's going on in my life, my family's life, the family community life.
Exactly.
Here it is right here. Here's the need. Here's the concern. Here's the desire or want and want.
Yes.
All right, I'm leaving that with you. I trust you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Turn it
Yo,
over to God. He'll work it out.
do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
Uh, I don't know. I guess, there are probably so many, but I guess, if there is anything, it's probably closely related to that bit of scripture that I shared. And that is I guess maybe you can say, Lord, help me to accept the things that I cannot change those that I can. And see, I forget sometimes, but again, it's related to that scripture, basically just saying anything that I can change, Lord, help me to be able to change it. Those things that I cannot change, it's like, allow me not to worry and stress myself over it, and just give me the mindset to know the difference between the two.
Love that. And that's wisdom, when you can take knowledge and choice and you can say, okay, which is the better of the two
Yes.
or the better of all that is involved. So listen, we got to talk about this. We always ask our guests, there's always a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
There's a backstory. Who is Robert outside everything that we see and know and hear? Who are you? And why is your life so important in terms of purpose? I'm going somewhere, so roll with me.
Okay. Well, and you heard me talk about my family. That's my foundation. And we are a large and loving family, and that's what's so great about it. It again, before there was any, outside of our Lord God in heaven, there was family, and so that has undergirded me throughout all my life and still to this point. So that's me first of all.
Right.
Second, I've always considered myself the kind of person who can talk to anyone, even at a young age, and I've never had a problem talking or communicating, and in some cases that may have gotten me in a little trouble, particularly in during my elementary school years, for maybe talking too much. I was always one of those who was sent out of class. It's like, okay, you're talking, I told you to be quiet. And so, but in many ways that has I've been rewarded for that in some ways, as I've gotten older. And then just as I said, I've always considered myself a people person. I enjoy people. I love people. I love the company of others. And again, that comes from a big family, growing up with a lot of people around me. That's just always been a part of my life, and something that I've grown and learned a lot from, through my family, through older siblings, my parents, through mentors, and many who still to this day, even at my age, what they poured into me and continue to pour into me has helped me along the way, be it personally, professionally, spiritually. It's, people have just always meant a lot to me. People have just always been an important part of my life.
Well, and the reason I asked that, Robert, is because first of all, I know you, and I've had an opportunity to spend quality time working alongside with you, with your extended family. So let's talk about your extended family, the fraternity. First of all, tell us about the organization, and what impressed you to be a part of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. On March 3rd of this year, will mark 40 years that I've been a member of this august body. Yes. Yes, indeed. And it was initiated at the Delta Gamma chapter at Alabama A&M University on Saturday, March 3rd, 1984 at 8:05 p.m. As you all can tell, I'm a stickler for dates and numbers and times and those kinds of things.
Yes, sir.
But through that, I have gained an association with like-minded gentlemen who are about service and leadership and servitude. You mentioned that being a part of my extended family.
Right, exactly.
Naturally, through that, through my initiation and through my membership, I've built an association of people, not just here locally within our chapter in Huntsville, but throughout the country. Being a brother of Alpha has granted me the privilege of meeting and interacting with brothers as far away as Washington State,
Wow.
California,
Yeah.
Florida, New York, Chicago, just throughout the country and throughout the world. I've met brothers from some of our international chapters. As a matter of fact, we have a chapter in Great Britain, in London. And I
Wow.
have met a couple of brothers from there as well at some of our general conventions that have been held. So, being a part of this organization has granted me that privilege. But what led me to join Alpha was, naturally the famous names, the Dr. Kings, the Thurgood Marshalls, the Andrew Youngs, the Jesse Owens, just so many. But more closer to home, people like the late Reverend Dr. Henry Bradford Jr., who I think you may have known,
Right.
who was the chair of the Department of Music Education at Alabama A&M University for nearly 40 years. He and his wife, Mrs. Nell Lane Bradford, who is still living, who is either 100 or 101. I was never a member of the university choir at Alabama A&M, but just knowing him, having known him before I went to college, and then once I was there on the Hill and seeing his interaction, and I used to tell people I wanted to walk like him. I wanted to speak like him. He was just such a distinguished and erudite gentleman, but he was the most humble man you could ever meet. As I said, as I described him when he passed away, coming up on now 5 years ago, I talked about all of that. I said, but he was a man who still walked humbly with his God. And just people like that. And so many other brothers here, brothers like Brother Robert Richardson, who you may have seen today at the breakfast,
Right.
and some other brothers, in our local chapter who have, some with us, some who've, since gone on to their reward. I saw them in action, as you've heard the saying, you have to be mindful of what you do because you don't know who's watching. These gentlemen were just going about their daily business, whether it was, if they were teaching or mentoring, and through that, I saw them and I heard them, and I'm like, and when I found out, their affiliation, I'm like, those are the kind of people that I admire. Those are the kind of people I want to emulate. So again, outside of the famous names of Alpha, those were the kind of people that influenced me to see the light, as we say.
I want to go to a song. I was going to do it before and ask a question, but I'm going to leave you with the question, and then we're going to go and we're going to enjoy this video
Okay.
about the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want you to be thinking about it when we come back on the other side. We'd love for you to share with our viewers and on the podcast side, our listeners. What was your earliest connection to finding out about either who he was, or
Mhm.
maybe seeing him, or experiencing something that he did, said, lived, or traveled through and to? We'll be right back. Enjoy this video. You're going to love it. It's Kid President with his take on the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Sure.
Past, present, legacy. We'll be right back with the session.
All right.
Once upon a time, there's a man named Martin Luther King Jr. It's funny to think about because now we know his name so well, but at one time he was just a kid. Like maybe you're a kid watching this. Well, he was a kid too. Well, maybe you're a grown-up. That's okay too. Former kids are welcome here. I don't discriminate. Martin Luther King grew up to be a great man, of course, but things weren't all that great in the world while he was growing up. Not everybody was treated like they were somebody. And I believe that you should treat everybody like it's their birthday. But they didn't do that. People looked at the color of their skin. And that's how they decided if they were friends or not. Not cool, man. That didn't make him feel good. That didn't make anybody feel good. But his parents helped him grow up. He went to church. He learned about love. He grew up to be a minister to help a lot of people. He did all sorts of cool stuff. He helped a lot of people learn about love too. But still, he looked around and said, things should be better. He wanted to change things, so he did stuff. He decided, instead of spreading the hate, he would spread the love. He wanted to bring people together. Where people were hurting, he stepped in to help. He marched with them. He walked with them. He walked arm in arm with everyone. Sometimes it didn't go well, but he kept going. Sometimes he ended up in prison, but he kept going. Some people didn't like him, but he kept going. Some days were hard, but he kept going. Love does that. It just keeps going, even when things are dark. And, well, I don't like this part of the story, but things did get pretty dark. Someone who didn't agree with him shot him. He died in April 1968. Now, kid president, why are you telling us this sad story? Come on. I know, look, I'm sorry, but it happened. I don't like that it happened. Now, I gotta tell you something. When things aren't awesome, it can be tough. And things won't always be awesome, but your response can be. Martin Luther King's response? It was awesome. Today, I just wanted us to think about this. Isn't it cool that we can change things? Like any of us, anybody. He dreamed and he changed things. And he dreamed and he kept sharing his dreams. They became not just his dream, a lot of people's dream. Like this one. I have a dream that little black boys and black girls will join hands with white boys and white girls and become sisters and brothers. That's a pretty good dream. Let's dream like that. That could change things. I had the honor of meeting Dr. King's son, Dr. Martin Luther King III. And you can find our conversation in my new book, The President's Guide to Being Awesome. He's a really great leader, and he even wrote a book called My Daddy, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's so good that I want to book it forward. I'm pledging to send 30 copies to a school in my town. What about you? How can you book it forward? Here's a few ways that people are doing it already. Look at this, it's amazing. It's really cool to see it spread. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being awesome, people. See you next week.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Bring my friend in. Let's talk about that. What'd you think about that, Doc? What'd you think about that? Wait, we get him on. Right, hang on one second. What'd you think about that, bro?
Can you hear me? Yeah, man, that was amazing. It, Dr. King was all about, our young people and encouraging them. And like that young man said there, I mean, it's, it doesn't matter how old you are, anybody can make a change. There's something for everybody to do, some contribution to be made. And that little kid's great. That he's amazing.
He's like, I'm the kid president at 30 book. And with that being said, for you, what was your earliest interaction or introduction to the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
Believe it or not, it's kind of foggy, but the day of his assassination, I was 4 years old, a few months removed from being 5 years old. And I remember the story coming across the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite.
Wow.
Sitting in front, with those my brothers and sisters who were still at home with my parents, and sitting in front of a big black and white Admiral television and seeing it, kind of understanding and not understanding. It's like, okay, something terrible has happened here. Okay, Dr. King has been shot. And that was, I guess, even before knowing what led up to his assassination. Everything he had done, everything he advocated for, which, as that, amazing young man just said, someone hated him enough for that they took his life. But I remember that. And as I said, it's a little foggy, but I was always kind of a news junkie. I think I may have been the only kid my age who would sit in front of the TV and watch the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. So, and then from that point, in school and, on particular occasions, as they said, no one has taught it enough the way it should be taught, not just about Dr. King, but about our entire story of
Yes.
our people here in this country. But in school, elementary, middle, and high school, learning and then just taking the initiative myself to go out, and seek information and learn more about the history of his movement and the civil rights movement in general. Just taking that time to learn more about it. But that was literally the first exposure I had to Dr. King and who he was and what he stood for. So yeah.
So, that's powerful that at a young age, and that speaks volumes to even to today,
Hmm.
that when we see trauma, tragedy, and misfortune at a very young age, it's not until we really someone a guardian, a mentor, um, the news. In this case, we have Google, Instagram, we have
Right.
online platforms. It's not until we are introduced or we say, "Oh man, that's what that means,"
Hmm.
that we understand the magnitude of what a person or the work of a person and how it has impacted people for greatness.
Hmm.
So for you, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., what does that mean to you personally? And then let's talk about it as relates, of course, to the organization because he was an alpha himself. If
Right.
you share that.
Uh, for me personally, it just and I think for so many of us and for this nation and this world to some degree, he represents what I guess the nucleus or the catalyst of the civil rights movement. Of course, we all know that the movement itself started long before that, as Brother Powell mentioned today,
Right.
with some unnamed
Correct.
individuals,
Correct.
But for many of us, when we think of the civil rights movement and we think about social change and social activism, Dr. King's name is the first name that we think of. But I also think that he himself, and again, as that amazing young man just said, he was once a little boy himself. And
Yeah.
even as a little boy, he saw that, okay, things need to change.
Right.
And, he may not have known at that time that he would be the, that he would become the symbol of change that he was and
Right.
is. But he recognized that even as a child that, the world can be a better place and something needs to be done to help it to become a better place. So, but again, as I said, he represents the, I guess again the nucleus maybe for the civil rights movement. Again, there were so many others. We could talk here all day about some of the other more famous names, but again, those that went unmentioned. Who worked in the background, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, but
And that's powerful. I think it's powerful what you're saying because you think about it, a kid that intentional because it's something's not right.
right,
Finish school early, 15 in college. I mean,
wow,
you're talking moving 26. You are now moving the nation on a
yes,
cause because of someone not wanting an individual who is just as human, just a different hue or color,
right,
not being able to sit where she wants to sit.
right,
You know, I want to go to this video, and then we're going to come back. It's Mr. Johnson says it said he has a song called "He Knows Me." One of the things that's so powerful that I think is interesting, and I want to talk about this from the perspective of the alphas, is that when you know who you are, when you know added value, that you are added value, your organization is very intentional about bringing added value to what is going on in our community.
hmm,
And I want to talk about that added value of the alphas from the perspective of education, because the big thing about, and you mentioned that earlier, and if you know anything about the late Dr. Martin Luther King, he was all about education
yes,
while he was about moving forward. And he realized
very
that
much
in
so.
a world that you don't own, you have to have education to grab. That's a major
Yes,
key to economic development and also home ownership, housing, financial literacy. We can go on and we will discuss it.
indeed,
But let's talk about that when we come back.
sure,
I think this is important for the legacy, not just the life, but the legacy that has been bestowed upon us,
Sure.
when we come back. All right, so here it is. Enjoy this one. It's by Mr. Johnson, brand new off the press. You already know the session, Bible Beats and Bars, with our special guest, Robert Drake of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We'll be right back.
What do we do when we are scared?
We say the word
Adonai's words from the prophet.
Isaiah.
Prophet Isaiah, right? Thus says the Lord who created you, O Jacob, and he who formed you, O Israel. Fear
God
not.
knows my name. He calls me friend. In his word it says that I am his. He said that I am his. He knows my name. He calls me friend. And I'll never have to worry again. 'Cause he knows my name. They said I would be nothing but a thug, or a convict locked up, or a dope head on drugs, or laying somewhere dead man, body full of slugs. Tell them, look at me now, boy, I'm covered by the blood. Thought I'd be nothing but a gangbanger, same gangster, weed pill, cocaine slanger. All them things they thought I would be, I ain't. God came, hit your boy with a game changer. Told me all I done is been forgiven, and he can change my heart if I just give him permission. I let him change my heart, let him change my decision. Soon as I change my thoughts, I change the way I was living. No more jail, no more prison. Now I'm free from addiction, free from backstabbing friends, and free from scandalous women. Free to be me. You see that this Christian living the business. Check the scope, or we winning. Did I forget to mention that? Call me friend. In his word it says that I am his. He said that I am his. He knows my name. He calls me friend. And I'll never have to worry again. 'Cause he knows my name. Hey boy, they used to call me loco. Tell them get that off me, baby, I ain't crazy no more. Came at the right time, restored me to my right mind. Look at my light shine out there praying with the po-po. Young black man in America, letting my soul go. Told me I'm the light of the world, therefore I'm on post. Does that mean I'm perfect? By all means, oh no. I fall 7 times and I'ma get up, ocho. So don't let the devil come try to discourage you. Let the Holy Spirit come and comfort you and nourish you. The devil try to bring up your past to embarrass you. That's why God sent a sinner like me to encourage you. Yeah, 'cause I done been through it all. Everything you doing, man, done did it all. When he left the 99, I was the one that was lost. Saying yes, got the answer when he called. He knows my name. Me friend. In his word it says that I am his. He said that I am his. He knows my name. He calls me friend. And I'll never have to worry again. 'Cause he knows my name. No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, cycles, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us. Tune in.
Cause he knows my name. Shout out to my man, Mr. Johnson. Came down to wreck the show for us, man, this past year, and then we're gonna have him back for the 4th annual Good Music and Arts Festival. which,
Okay.
by the way, the Alpha Phi Alpha is always a sponsor. So shout out to the Alphas.
All right.
So welcome back to the show. We have an amazing conversation with Mr. Drake. So Drake, let's talk about that. We talk about education. One of the big things he was all about it. You can't move that fast if you're not doing it with education. So let's
Exactly.
talk about the importance of that from your organization and why that is so key to getting the keys to their American or your or our nation's American dream.
All right. Well, an education or having access to an education is literally the key to personal, professional, and spiritual fulfillment, for lack of a better term. And Dr. King was very much an advocate for that. Uh, and it's amazing how, and Brother Powell talked about this today as well.
Right.
Those
Yeah.
things that were, I guess you can say, the hotbed topics of 60 years ago have now reared their heads again, particularly with education. We are seeing uh, the attempts of some states to remove education, particularly as it relates to African Americans and other people of color, from their classrooms. And but again, as has been stated, it's not just black education is not just for black folk. That's a
Oh,
part
amen.
of this nation. That's African Americans, our people, came here or were brought here, you know, not by any choice of their own, but they and their posterity have built this country. And there are those who want to erase that or whitewash it or somehow, you know, sweep it under the rug. But ignorance can be very expensive. I think I heard someone say that
Ooh,
once.
that is
So yes, and
that's powerful.
it's much like debt. It can haunt you. So you know, but the education, and it comes from more than just the classroom. It comes from opportunities through experiences on a college campus. Again, meeting people who are mentors to you, who give you those little nuggets outside of what they give you when you are in their classrooms for their lectures. Those people who will take time. A particular day you come to class thinking you're going to talk about one thing, and that professor said, look, today we're going to talk about something else.
Right, right.
That's something that I got from many of my professors at Alabama A&M University. One I will mention in specificity, Dr. Mary Sanford Brown, who was the chair of the Department of History and Political Science at the time, and she was my world history professor as a freshman. And on many occasions, of course, she was superb at teaching world history, but she was equally as superb as talking about, some days it wasn't about what they did in England. It was like, okay, we're going to talk about what contributions we have made, because we, as she would tell us, we are world history. And that's something you may not get at a larger PWI. So, just that facet of education is equally as important as exams and lectures and finals and so forth. So, but again, we talked about Dr. King being an advocate for that. And again, he believed that, like you said, education is the key to to financial, professional, and in many ways spiritual wealth and achievement. So it's just,
I love that.
as what I forget it was said, but a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing.
Come on.
And but lack of knowledge is deadly. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
One thing I want to jump in on that, what you said is deadly. The other thing that's important, what I love about the HBCUs and the Divine Nine, especially you guys, I'm very appreciative that you're very intentional about the give back.
yes,
A big part of that is service. Talk about the service, the sovereignty, and the service piece of your organization. And then
okay,
we're going to go to another video, and then I'll share another point we want to cover before we get out of here.
okay, all right. Yeah, scholarship is the foundation of Alpha. As a matter of fact, our history book is literally dedicated, as we say, to the youth who marched onward and upward toward the light. That is when our history book, the first issues were penned in the early part of the 20th century. That is the full title, The History of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and it is to the youth who marched onward and upward toward the light. So again, education, particularly with our young people. That's why we're so passionate about providing scholarship, monies for education, mentorship, just in any facet where we can somehow influence the lives of our young people, particularly our young Black boys.
Correct.
Yeah. And so many times, when we are meeting with our youth groups, we'd say, to our young brothers, you have a target on your back. So what we're doing here and what this is all about is to see if we can somehow deflect some of those bullets and arrows that may be aimed at you, by helping you to prepare yourself to stay out of situations that might lead you down a bad path. I guess you can say it's never been an easy path for us as Black people, but our young Black boys are in a tumultuous, place, in this present time in our history in this country. So, but yeah, we're very passionate about education, and again, providing opportunities and funding and anything else we can do to make sure that a young man or a young woman has the opportunity to go to college if they choose to, or even if that's not the case, to help them with, training in a vocation, anything that will give them the opportunity to provide a living for themselves or their families down the road, and for their families beyond that. So scholarship, leadership, and service is literally at our foundation. Very much so.
So we're going to go to this song, and when we come back, let's do a slight shift, because let's talk about our queens.
Yes,
BCU, and then you talk about our sororities and their role in making a significant impact when it comes to Black community and brown and others as well. Because I think a lot of times when we're doing this, what has made us a moving force and made us a success is that you have the fraternity and the sororities. You have the Black man and the Black woman equally working. You have the leveraging of politics, Black men, Black women moving into these areas. Let's talk about that and the impact it has on Dr. King. Well, I want to do a tribute. There's a young lady, her name is Bria Miles. She has a whole slew of young ladies, queens, and they got a song called Me. Respect me. And if you respect me, you respect yourself in the nation. We'll be right back. Man, this is good, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking time.
Glad to be here.
You already know. The session. Let's go. Professor, let's put them on.
Who is you gonna respect? Me. I am the one. Pop and watch me flex. Easy, 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 easy with the threats. Oh no, we is not the same. I can never let you change. Me. Who is you gonna respect? Who could you never check? Who gonna do more to flex? Who is it got protect? Who is you gonna respect? Me. I am the one. Pop and watch me flex. Easy, 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 easy with the threats. Oh no, we is not the same. I can never let you change me. Who is you gonna respect? Who could you never check? Who gonna do more to flex? Who is it got protect? I am the baddest one that you will ever meet. Say it to your face, oh no, I won't be discreet. I am a freaking legend and I'm making one. Easy, easy, easy. Oh, this way too easy. I am the one. I do not need applause. I don't just need my God. Literally, I am the same. I'm only an anointed. Got appointed. XOXO, levitate, level, got DNA.
Before me, then who can stand against me? Or you can plan against me simply, but you will not just hit me. I am not just anybody. You can break a bear me. I am a child of a king. I get plenty. I am so out of your league. I can start a new league like a Remy. I deserve more like I'm Demi. Try to destroy me, but please to get caught off my neck. I ain't Jenny. I ain't too friendly. Violence is in me. God come and get me. You send me. Call me, I'm 7. It's more than a flex. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Yeah. Call me, I'm 7. It's more than a flex. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning.
Push on, kick on, hit on, spit on. This my fight back song. I've been wrong, but I lived on cause my fight back strong. Push on, kicked on, hit on, spit on. This my fight back song. I've been wrong, but I lived on cause my fight back strong. Did everything you could to tear me down. Still standing. Look at me now, holding my ground. You see 6 feet, don't you sit down. I am a queen, I am a king, I am a living legend, what now? When in my presence, show nothing but reverence, remember the courtesy and the
respecting us now, knowing our worth, seeing our grind. We doing it first. We conquering all that we've been through. We living it up because we know how to work. It's time that we show what we gonna do. Things that are making these people start running to. Better believe this is something new. Fellas are coming through, ready to bump this too. Let's go.
You gonna respect me? I am the one. Pop and watch me flex. Easy, 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 easy with the threats. Oh no, we is not the same. I could never let you change me. Who is you gonna respect? Who could you never check? Who gonna do more to flex? Who was it got protect? Who is you gonna respect? Me. I am the one. Pop and watch me flex. Easy, 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 easy with the threats. Oh no, we is not the same. I could never let you change me. Who is you gonna respect? Who could you never check? Who gonna do more to flex? Who was it got protect?
Yes, sir. Come on, bring my man Robert. Robert, what you say, bro? You can't have no king without a queen. What's up, bro?
Can't
What
do
is
it.
up?
Just can't do it. I mean, you myself, we are descendants of black women, of
Come on,
queens.
come on. Yes,
And
sir.
I have 5 sisters, queens, all of them. And
Yes, sir.
I just I, we are a lost civilization
Come
without. I'm
on,
serious, without our black women.
come
It's
on.
just that simple. Um, as it relates to our Divine Nine, shout out certainly to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha celebrating their Founders Day today. Delta Sigma
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Theta, who
Yep.
celebrated theirs just a couple of days ago. Zeta Phi Beta will celebrate theirs on tomorrow,
Yeah.
and Sigma Gamma Rho will celebrate theirs in November. So shout out to all of our sisters of the Divine Nine who walk boldly and strongly beside us, the brothers of each of the fraternal organizations. So, we're lost without them. I mean,
It is true.
and I've had conversations with people where I've told them, I'm like, in this political climate, in the toxicity of this political climate, we've seen an attack recently on our black women, from the Supreme Court to the White House. Shout
Come on.
outs to our vice president, Sister Kamala Harris of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Come
And
on.
we saw it in the Supreme Court with the vicious attacks on Ketanji Brown Jackson, an erudite, intelligent black woman who was treated as if she was just some strumpet off the street, literally. But because she was a black woman who was intelligent and strong and forbearing, unfortunately, that's how this country treats them. And unfortunately, also, that's sometimes how some of our brothers treat them as well. So we've got some cleaning up to do in our own house.
That's true.
But yeah, I say it all the time. No one has been disrespected and disregarded more than the black woman. And as it relates to our community, she's held it together.
Yeah. One of the things I didn't want to go any further without us celebrating and saluting our black women and women of color, because here's the fact. Before we could even, when we were considered animals and property, they would bring a woman in to do a job before a black man.
Yes.
A woman would be the 1st.
Mhm.
Suffering women, that was black women, even though they didn't get the credit initially. You look at black movement, the reason why the civil rights movement, even from the 30s to the 50s, and then the one that everyone talks about was a woman, Rosa Parks. You look at Fannie Mae, all of those women,
All of them.
all
Yes.
of them women, like, through the cloud. I mean, women. We're talking about movements, and because of the love of our queens, there was a need for the king, and so there was a need for HBCUs and men to get their education. But there was time when we were on the field and the women were getting their education.
Yes.
So just a shout out and just checkmate too. Don't ever diss a black woman or brown woman specifically, because you know what? When we couldn't get in the door, they were able to open. They were able to get in the door, get the position, and then open the door.
Open
We're
the door for
looking
us.
for
Yes.
us black men.
Yes.
So I love that because when you look at the life and legacy of Dr. King and Coretta Scott, you're talking about a power couple, black
Yes.
woman, black man. And so we can't do it without you all. So shout out to all of the queens and all of the sororities, especially HBCU
Yes.
campuses and fraternity, just organizations at large. So I thought that was something we need to make sure before we go any
Oh,
further.
indeed. Yes.
Anything that you want to add to that before we move on?
Or it's been said, and again, it's manifested itself that beside every strong black man is a stronger black woman.
Come on.
You talked about Dr. King and Coretta Scott King, with it, while he gained all the notoriety, his face and his words are what was seen and quoted around the world. She was there with him every step of the way.
Yes, sir.
On those days, probably when it was, I can't do it any longer. There was that strong black woman to say, but you've got to. And she was there with him, through it all, even up to the point of his last breath. Yeah. So, yeah, we are nothing without our sisters. It's just as simple as that.
And so as an advocate, we have to always, and I'm going to say that again, we as black men, brown men, we must be advocate, because when we begin to bicker and take each other out or disrespect, it just makes it easier for those on the outside or other individuals who didn't care, never cared, to do even more damage. And that's something, and I love, again, going back to our fraternities and sororities for the work you all do. I work in housing. I also work at the No More Dirty platform. And you guys, Alphas, have been there right at the thing. And then shout out to our state representative, Laura Hall, and all the others in our local, regional, and our state community and area for all the things you do. And we appreciate you. I want to go to this other video. We're almost done, folks. But I just think sometimes we have to take a little breather and go back and look at, and Rob, it's got to be more than just the holiday, a day on and a day off.
Oh, most definitely.
It really has to be like, why are we doing this? What is the point of this? Where do we go from here? So we're going to go to this video. Now, these guys are just MCs because, I'm a hip hop head. You already know that, Rob. So they got one called, We Ain't Running. We Ain't Backing Down. And so we're going to talk about what we do from here, because at the end of the day, after we've laughed and joked and had a day off and hung out and got our degree, what do we do as black men and black women to move the needle and transform the community that are usually not going to be supported outside of it? Because if they don't see us moving on it, they ain't cut no check. They definitely not going to do right by policy. So we'll be right back. Here it is. You already know, my man, Rick Montero and all of the crew. They bringing that heat, Good Day Movement Music Group. We'll be right back with my friend, your friend now, Robert. You already know, the Drake. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Hey, yo, we got the squad with us. Lord. Oh, you want demon time? Big guillotine. So we coming straight for you. We mobbing, not running. Let's go.
Creep with me as I cruise through the ghetto. I got news for the devil and all of his Bochincheros. We gon' turn up to the max, lay him on their back. That's for all the innocent lives you try to snatch. You gon' pay that back, 100-fold with interest and fees. Million men of God marching towards the Garden of Eden. We gon' find where them snakes at, stomp them out ASAP. Take that. Take that. We don't play fair when it comes to deliverance. We casting legions of demons, stone cold and belligerent. Let them know what the business is, stand firm. It's 66 lux in this clip where that bang burn. Trust me on it. At Luke 8:29, that's rapid eviction, blast ammunition that saves lives. We the realest in the East, live from the Empire's fate. Them godly goals, nobody move, boy. It ain't safe.
Hey yo, the bar's marvelous, scar starving this blind part of this. Why bother with my father when God started it? Better get it rockin', metal with him with metal, my men'll get it locked in. Holy Ghost talk, know my pedigree, trendsetter with a vendetta with the enemy. There's only one king and that's the Lord of Lords. All in all, come against Christ, no you falling off. I'm preparing for the war. Try to tell him these hope dealers are pill him in the jaw. He a fronter, he just act hard. From the Holy Ghost, who be running like a track star. The nemesis is getting Nathan. Penmanship, I give him Genesis, the revelation. It's more than confidence. Told you before that we more than conquerors. You move by the word and it's more than obvious.
Come with y'all out. You moving on demon time, we casting them all out. These Christians ain't running. No, these Christians ain't running. That's on God. These Christians ain't running. Come with y'all out. You moving on demon time, we casting them all out. These Christians ain't running. No, these Christians ain't running.
Let me tell you something. Yo, the pen with flavor, the penetrator, present the maker, pen is greater. Rhymes in my notes section, no pen and people. Emulate them, the savior paving, the lane for patience, crazy pagan, saved by grace, aiming to amputate the snakeskin. We alive, the grace he gave me a prize. While I battle with my lust, he saved me breaking the ties. Grateful I was able to break through lies from this psycho stalker that wanna kill me like evil God. Yeah, he acted like a friend, but was really there to end anything that was a man. To leave me in his den, to never breathe again. What I'm seeing with my eyes was enough to feed the pen. Yeah, expose deception for people who screaming evil. You can feel it in the air when I speak the truth like I'm Beanie Siegel. Little Weasel destroying people with pain and evil. Pain is lethal, so we gon' pray and make it and aim to see truth.
The only thing I ran from was cop lights and Jesus. Now if I run, it's running the fade when I face these demons. Chose the wrong life, passing bundles to the block balls. But God made me right, I slept my struggles boxing softball. Me llaman el gajero, yo trabajo la cosecha. Ya viene el aguacero, siempre cargo la chaqueta. Manín, deja el bulto, te doblo la maleta. Predicando en el punto, yo ahí su grandeza. Heck no, you're my soul ain't for sale. I shine the light of Christ, show the force of darkness can't prevail. This wartime, yeah, we ready for war. In the Lord's time, I guarantee he'll settle the score. We taking back what the devil tried to took. Look, we don't follow rules of man, we follow the book. If y'all still gotta ask what we rapping about, with demons in Jesus' name, we casting them out.
These Christians ain't running. Come with y'all out. You moving on demon time, we casting them all out. These Christians ain't running. No, these Christians ain't running. That's on God. These Christians ain't running. Come with y'all out. You moving on demon time, we casting them all out. These Christians ain't running. No, these Christians ain't running. That's on God.
We ain't running, we gunning, it's all top. 66 in the clip, gon' rip today, y'all rock. These demons in the glass house trying to toss rocks. Y'all stop, y'all weak, and your boss don't call shots. All God make the calls, and he the one to regulate. Y'all got it twisted, you thinking he ain't gon' set it straight. The enemy know in the ending he got hell to pay. When it go down, we going up to celebrate. We ain't running, but demon time is running out. Sound like thunder sound, we fire lightning coming down. Keep them ducking down from a couple hundred rounds. Catching bodies for the body till my body underground. When it's crunch time, catch me on the front lines. Once I go to a line, boy, lunchtime. Say you know me to fade and he finna run my way. Gon' run high when them real ones fly. This disciples Bible hit like a sniper rifle. Ain't no type of rival gon' be left alive on Christ's arrival. Or survive the tidal wave of the final trial. Best decide what side you on, all the time is vital. The last days in its bang, look at banged on. Life ain't a game, dog, this here a game war. Make your decision, who you gon' bang for. Don't play, dog, better pray you get prayed on.
Yo, hey, bring my man in, bro. What you say? Yo, you already know the business. We about that gospel hip hop. You already know. We ain't running back. We ain't running. We ain't backing up. Listen, if you talk about you want to be upstanding, do you cannot go back. You can't be running up, running out. You got to be in the building. What I love about the Divine Nine is they in the building. They in my communities. They in our city. They doing work. And we're appreciative. So, Rob, why is it so important? Why is it important? From the alphas all the way down to the rest of the 8. Why is this important that we have to be intentional going forward?
Well, I mean, it's simple. All of our organizations were founded for one main purpose, and that is service.
Come on.
You know, what is it that Mrs. Martin said earlier today, and I heard it several times. that service is the rent you pay for the space you take up, or the time you're something of that
Yep.
nature.
Yep.
But you
That's
know,
it.
that's even as Christians, we're called to give back. You know, it's for those that are, I guess the least of these,
Come on.
those of us who have, it is our job to give to those who have not. And again, that be through service, through several means, whether it be your physical service, your physical presence, through mentorship, through education, through financial support, just it, anything where you can give record, where you have given back to those who are less fortunate, or who don't have the opportunity, or have not had the opportunities that we have had. Again, that's the foundation for the total divine nine. If it's, for all of our, we call it our friendly banter, we have that.
Right,
But
right.
particularly at this level, when you're out of college and you're in the community, it's all about putting in work. It's just that simple.
I love
Our
that.
founders, when the organizations were chartered, that's what it was all about. All the other came later down the road. But when at the dawn of these organizations, it was all about, what are you doing in your communities for your people and for all people, in particular for our people, but at that time especially. But what are you giving back? What are you doing? That's the foundation.
What I love about this conversation, and really about the Divine Nine in general, as well as those who are advocates in the community like myself, is that what makes transformation a reality is that
Mhm.
we are really doing the work. When we do the work, it is then that we see the community embraces, wow, this is really
Yes.
a real thing.
Yes.
With the voting initiative we do, working hand in hand with those organizations, boots on the ground, grassroots, along with those in the main organizations, to see that people understand what is voting.
Hmm.
It's not just enough to know about the time when the act was pinned, but the pen doesn't do anything if we're not using the pen,
Right.
or the pencil in this case. Uh,
Exactly.
you know, Economic development. It can't just be an argument. Let's present policies. Let's present programs. If we're gonna spend $1 million, then let's break it up in five. Quarter
Exactly.
million. We're going to this. Quarter million in that, and make sure it's being facilitated by us,
Right.
so that others can say, "Wow, well, they're taking care of their own. I don't mind putting some money on it." We
Right.
want others outside that don't look like us to put it on, but what are we putting on it? And
Exactly.
I think that's what I love about your organization, particularly, and all the rest, is that you guys are very intentional, and then it opens doors for organizations like NAACP. It opens up opportunities for understanding, working with NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. It
Right.
opens up opportunity dealing with Black Excellence and Black Girls and Boys, and Black Girls Rock and Black Boys Magic. All of that. All of that then makes sense to a kid who does not have, and they don't think now they can see someone who's successful, and they experience it with somebody successful. So I guess I will choose to be successful, and
Right.
it makes for a beautiful recipe for Black excellence.
Yeah.
Any comments to that, Doc? I just
I mean, just no. I think you summed it up. It's all about, what are you bringing to the table. What
wow,
as I said, come and lay all of your, lay all your gifts, before us. What are you bringing to share with others? What you can talk about it all day,
come on,
but
yeah,
what is it? Works. What is it? Works without,
the
faith
faith
without
without
works
works.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's, you can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
yeah.
And that's the charge that each of our organizations have, and not just the Divine Nine, but
Correct.
like you mentioned, NAACP, NSBE, 100 Black Men, the Links,
Yeah, yeah.
Jack and Jill, all of these organizations. That's the charge we have. All of these organizations were founded
Come on.
because there was, our communities were lacking in mentorship and service and opportunities. And so those who had access to it, it's like, okay, it's your duty to give back. So like I said, you got to bring something to the table. And again, that's what it's all about.
And I would say these last two things, and we're gonna get out because we want to make sure that we're very hopeful that you got a great message and a great charge and challenge. I think one of the things that Mr. Powell said that was important, was deep for me, and especially in the space that I work, is that that poverty is another form of violence. And Dr. King dealt with nonviolence from the perspective of education, exposure, and also the fellowship and faith. So faith won't get any impact if you're not having a conversation.
Faith without works.
Talk about stop selling drugs and stuff if you don't have an economic
alternative to
that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speak to that, bro, because I think that's important.
Well, like you said, I mean, it's, and again, I remember that when you mentioned it, he said that poverty is a form of violence. And you think about it, if you are not subject to poverty, then you have no need to rob that store because you're trying to feed your children. You have no need to steal from someone else because you're trying to pay to keep your lights on. So one causes the other. That was when he said that. I thought that is really profound, and I'd forgotten about it till you mentioned it. Yeah. But I mean, he's indeed right. And in those communities, when people, we talk about areas or cities that may be particularly crime ridden, it's like, well, you got to look at what people are dealing with in those communities. There's a cause for that. Nobody's, the killings, the robbings, the physical violence, that's not occurring just because. Unfortunately, people are being driven to it based on their conditions. So when you can improve the conditions around them, you can improve the plight.
Yeah. So let's finale with this last point. So in terms of where do we go from here? Would you share just a few things maybe for our watchers and of course our listeners that will be listening on the podcast side, some things that people can do to be a change agent like the late great Dr. Martin Luther King and his affiliates, from the civil rights movement to this now human rights movement that we have in these new areas and spaces?
Sure. I think the first thing is find a means of service. One thing I've learned, even, in high school, being active, as a student leader, so to speak, and of course, going to college, joining a fraternity and being part of other organizations at Alabama A&M, is even through your service, you get a sense of fulfillment just based on what it is you're doing or trying to do to help improve the lives of, fellow students, if you're in school, of your campus or your community. So find something to get involved in. There's nothing like I guess you can say a humdrum existence, and find something that you can be passionate about and get involved with that. Again, I talked about my Christian faith. I've been a member of my church all my life. I'm active in my church. Whatever your faith may be, wherever you may worship, if you're not involved in an auxiliary at your church, get involved in that as well. That's another means of giving back. As a matter of fact, the church is very much at the forefront, or the African American church has been historically at the forefront of service in our community. So get involved in those, in church auxiliaries, wherever possible. And last but not least, anything you can do to touch the life of a young person. Young people, I found, throughout my life and getting older, that it has made such a difference in the lives of young people. I've seen it just when they feel that someone is taking some interest in them and what they want to do and trying to encourage them toward what it is they want to do. That makes all the difference in the world to a young person. So find some opportunities, whether it be you individually or through a group. You don't have to join a fraternity or a sorority to do that. You can just do that of your own free time. But find a young person to mentor, be it through big brothers, big sisters, or just someone in your community, in your church, in your neighbor across the street, someone that you can mentor and pour into them and and just let them know that I'm here. I care about you. Anything I can do to aid in your growth and your prosperity, I
Yeah,
want to be a part of that.
I love that. And I'm gonna add two more. Couple things more. Take the time to meditate, pray, and just
Yes.
ask the Most High, "Hey, how can I best be used?" Keep it simple. You know, God already knows. He's just what He really just wants to know that you want to take some time and spend with Him to just have
Yes.
a conversation about how to do and what is good and pleasing and will be a blessing to others. And then the second thing I will say is as much time as we want to spend, and I this is something I do personally, Robert, is I sit down and I say, okay, as much time as I do lollygagging and just doing simple fun things I just want to do for me, how much time do I spend designated and being a blessing to others?
Yes.
If I can't, if what I'm doing is 80, 90%, and I'm not giving really not outside that 10% to be a blessing, either church or nonprofit, what am I doing physically to make an impact? And so take the time and say, okay, if I'm spending X amount of time doing work, X amount of time my downtime, what am I doing X amount of time community service? And if you can't find 10% at least of that time to 25%, you still got 75% to do you and work
Right.
and live, because it ain't like we hurting. We doing okay, but somebody else is not doing okay. And at the end of
Exactly.
the day, if we don't serve our people, then we're just as bad as someone who didn't care to serve our people. You know.
Indeed.
So let them
Yes.
know how they can reach out to you guys. Thanks again for being our guest today. We man appreciate you guys. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated always been in the corner, man. No wonder we always doing stuff together. But I wanted to take a time to say thank you on behalf of our own team and our own organization, the nonprofit, as well as those that do other initiatives as well. Get in touch with you
Okay.
for
All
your
right.
organization.
Well, first of all, Reverend Fred, let me just say thank you for inviting me. I've enjoyed being here. If I've been able to give some nuggets of wisdom or just share any kind of insight, I'm grateful for that. If anyone is able to gain anything from our conversation here today, I'm grateful for it. I certainly hope that is possible. But
Yeah, you
anyone who wants information about us, they can go to dtlalpha.org. That is our website, and you can get some information just based on the things that we try to do throughout the year. The MLK Unity Breakfast being our signature event, but also, as I mentioned, we grant scholarships to local high school seniors each spring prior to them going off to college, right after they've graduated. And as a matter of fact, all the funds and monies gained from the breakfast this morning, and since we've been having it, all those monies go to our scholarship foundation.
right.
So, which allows us to grant scholarships to deserving young men and women. So that's why we're so appreciative to the community for supporting, and that's our way of pouring back into the community what they've done for us. So, but again, we say there are probably 300 or more alphas in the city of Huntsville, but
For
you can
sure.
reach any of us with the Don't Play the Lambda chapter again through dtlalpha.org. And, we just try to continue to do what it is we can to help improve the lives of the folks in the Huntsville and Madison County community. And we appreciate the community support of what we do.
And really, and just so for those that are, because we have a lot of people, Robert, that listen and watch from all around the world, globally. So just get involved in your community.
Yes.
Check out the alphas and say, hey, well, if your sister say, hey, let me find out what's going on with the deltas, or say,
Sure.
whomever it can be, just work that thing and understand that when they see you, you want them to say, okay, I want to be like her. I want to be like him.
Right.
Man, I like that suit. I'd rather them say, "Hey, I want to be like him driving a Corvette than a dope boy driving in a
Exactly.
Hummer."
Right.
So at the end of the day, who our kids are looking at, who is going to come up with the big
Yes.
boys numbers,
Yes.
if they can understand how we got there and how we stay there,
Right.
and the value of education, the value of faith, value of involvement, like you said, advocacy, and
Yes.
actually putting ourselves not first but last, so that others can be first, because the first shall be last and the last will be
That shall
first.
be first.
So
Yes.
again, thank you so much, and to all the Alpha brothers, you already know the business. Love y'all. You know we do this for life. We're gonna do this, and all of the Divine Nine, the rest. Thank you so much. Um, and let's take them out with there's a new one. Let me see. Oh, one other announcement too, and that is at the end of the month we're gonna do the GHIMF. They are going to do their Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Emancipation Proclamation on the 29th of this month
Hmm.
at 7 p.m. at the Church Street CPCA. That's 228, I think it is, Church Street.
Church Street. Yes.
Downtown. All right,
Yes.
so we're going to take them out with this video, I think. Well, let's do DOC, Doc No. He's got a one called We Soldiers in this thing. So again, be blessed. Take the
You as
time
well,
to
my brother.
thank you so much, Doc. I really appreciate you. And thanks for taking time out. And again, we want you to know what's happening all through the month. But we're gonna celebrate. We got racial healing weekend coming up. We have dealing with the movement and the after effects of the power of what is need to be done. So look at
Mhm.
all of this stuff. You see it on the screen. There's so much that can be done in our community.
Indeed.
We have no excuse not to be about the fathers in the
About the
community
Father's
business.
business.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So again, want to say thank you to the alphas, and thank you for representing, and to all the other eight, which make the Divine Nine. Thank you for your service. Thank you to all those advocates and and I'll say this to our allies, the ones that look not like us, that are about
Yes.
the same good work that we are.
Indeed.
We are, as Dr. King said, we are the beloved community. And
Yes.
so have a wonderful, blessed day. Again, you can catch if you miss us, if you don't get it today, then you always can get us on Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. And that's how that goes. Let me do this while we're doing. Hey, let's do this Friday nights. And let's give them the rundown. You give me 1 second, Rob, and then we're
Sure.
gonna let you get out of here.
Sure,
But
no
every
problem.
Friday evening, we do something called No More Dirty TV. And that's where if you like, you want your kids to hear some good music, some hip hop, some urban, without all the cussing and the fussing, tune in every Wednesday
Yes.
night and Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Central. Listen, look, we in the streaming world, all you got to do is go to YouTube and subscribe to the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. You can get it all right.
Okay.
Wednesday and Friday night, 7:30, No More Dirty TV. Then on Saturday, just like what we're doing here, you already know the session, Bible Beats. That's my dude right there. You see, everybody's like, who's Professor X? Now you know. That's my homie for life. And you'll get this transformative talk. It's all good. It's on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Central Standard. And then if you're on travel, then you can get us on Monday night, 7:30, same time. All right. And then on Sunday, we shout out the No More Dirty Radio Show. We play the finest, the dopest, the smoothest, the cleanest, and it's still boom bap. You already know. Shout out to Ed Gaines, G93. We believe in supporting Black radio and media. So you already know. That's 5 p.m. every Sunday. Shout out to my man, Ed Gaines Entertainment. And then at 6 p.m., we up. You already know. We up 103.1. You already know. 6 p.m. we do We Up. And then and if you'll switch that one for me, Professor, then we also need to do the We Up. Yes, there it is. It's on 6 p.m. And then on Mondays, globally, worldwide, we rock out with envision-radio.com. So here it is. We're going to take you out with this boom bap. Have a great one. Again, shout out to my man, the good doctor, Robert Drake of
Thank
Alpha
you,
Phi
sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Reverend Fred. Continued blessings to you.
All right, peace, peace. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Thank you all.
Peace.
All right, look, about to do this again. About that time. Thought I had quit. You thought I had left? Nah. Let's drop that beat. That's why you made that beat. I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up. God told me to go bring that. that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?
I made a beat that's tight, rep price all night. Hit the ball out the park, I'ma knock it out of sight. Think fast, think quick, I ain't about to get tricked. I ain't trying to be slick, I'm just making that devil sick. Every day, every night, every day of my life. Whether it's wrong or it's right, I'ma still just talk about Christ. Man, some people just out their mind, thinking that everything is fine. Everybody out writing rhyme, letting the blind just lead the blind. The devil don't even have a key, so how the devil gonna set you free? That's why God appointed me, cause I'm the original OG. Yeah, here I go, time to shine, time to glow. I just came out the studio and it's time to let the whole world know that
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
God told me to go bring that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?
now, when I wake up and start my day, before I'm on my way, before I go out and play, the first thing that I do is pray. I ain't even on my feet yet. I ain't even brush my teeth yet. I ain't even go and eat yet. And I ain't even make my beat yet. So you know I gotta go straight into my studio. When I open up the door, then my eyes start to glow. This so good, this so sweet, like some candy, it's a treat. Doc about to bring that heat. Somebody getting saved when I make my beat. When I get going, I ain't no joke. Take 1 second and clear my throat. I ain't gonna flinch, I ain't gonna choke. Man, I'm about to make them speakers smoke. Everywhere that I go, every song, every show, I'ma be smooth when I flow. And I'ma make sure you know that
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
God told me to go bring that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
God told me to go bring that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?
now I'm wide awake and woke up. Now the pressure building up. The Avalon is heating up. Now I'm about to beat them speakers up. Make them sizzle, make them hum. Make them blow up like a bomb. When the devil try to come, I'ma bust his eardrum. Step on the pedal, hit the gas. Man, I can make a beat fast. Man, I wish this was a class, cause I know that I'll pass. I'ma make the devil shame when I start to do my thing. When I turn compressors on, boy, that make that bang. Every time I click a switch, every time I turn a knob, I can make you feel good. I can make your head bob. Ain't no way that I could quit, so make sure you don't forget that if you want your beat to hit, I'm the one you need to come get, cause
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
God told me to go bring that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
God told me to go bring that heat, so I make tracks and I make.
I'm a Jesus soldier. I roll up.
I'ma knock that devil off his feet. Now, why you made that beat?